Lights off, transparency on. Late night marriage with the riches. Late night marriage with the riches. You need that real talk, this is what you want. Lights off, transparency on. Let's go.
Hey, what's up? What's up, fam? This is Damon Rich, and welcome to Late Night with the Riches. This is the guest edition on tonight, where we got the brothers. It's the brothers edition. We finna jump in on some hot topics tonight. We're gonna talk about the cheesecake. We're gonna talk about BBLs. We're gonna talk about 50/50, and we're gonna talk about happiness. So I'm gonna bring my guest on the in the room with me. I got with me Brandon and Nick. Hey, fellas, you might have to slide a little bit so you're in the center of the camera. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Y'all almost there. You're there. All right, yeah, I can see y'all. It's just how the screen chop it up and stuff like that, man. How y'all fellas doing tonight? Can you hear me good?
I hear you,
Yeah,
brother.
feeling
I'm doing
well,
all right.
feeling well, doing well.
All right, all
Looking
right.
forward to getting some good chatting and hear some different perspectives about things. So I'm excited about it.
All right, man. Hey, we want y'all to be free tonight, be able to really like get in. We're gonna talk about a couple of hot topics in this. I want y'all to just kind of introduce yourself a little bit. Brandon, you in the center on my screen, so I'll start with you. Then Nick, we'll jump over to you. Just tell the people a little bit about yourself before we get in here, and add in there, saying your current relational state, because I don't want nobody coming on here like, oh, I wonder, because we be looking, what I'm saying. So I need people to
Mm-hmm.
know up front. I don't need no drama, whatever. But if anybody available, also, we will play matchmaker on here. So, Brandon, go ahead, introduce yourself. Tell the people a little bit about yourself, champ.
Well, good evening. My name is Brandon Yeomans. I'm basically from here in Tallahassee, Florida. I teach middle school at R. Frank Nims Middle School. I'm a sixth grade science teacher. And I also coach football and girls flag football at Lincoln High School. Been doing that for 17 years now, a long time in the game. I'm currently in a loving relationship. I'm hoping to get married soon here in the near future. Haven't done the proposal or anything like that, but we've been talking about possibly taking our relationship to the next level, to the next step. So I'm looking forward to that, looking forward to growing and learning more about my beautiful queen as we move through this thing called life.
All right, that's what it is. That's what it is. All right, brother Nick, the elder statesman. This your second time on air with me. Maybe the
Yeah,
third time. I don't know, man. So
I
go
think
ahead
it's the
and
second time.
second time. Second time.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think so.
okay. All right, cool. Tell the
Yeah,
people
my
about
name is
yourself.
Nicholas Griffin. I'm originally from St. Augustine, but I've been here in Tallahassee a little more than 20 years. Been married twice. Currently divorced. Um, I work at FSU. I've been there for about 14 years. I work as a mechanic, and so I'm excited about tonight's show. And hopefully, maybe something I say can help somebody.
All right, that's what it is, man. That's what it is. So y'all know me, the relationship GPT. You know what I do, how I get down. The ladies are gonna have their women's night, the sisters' night, next Wednesday. Listen, if you have any questions for us, please drop those things in the chat, and I'll read them out and see which one of the guys want to tackle them, or whatever. However, we do that and stuff like that. But it's a reason I chose this topic. It's a reason I chose the topic that I chose, man. Cheesecake, doggone 50/50, doggone BBLs, and then happiness. Because, man, unfortunately, and I've been married for 25 years, right? And Nick, I know your first marriage was how long?
Ooh, we were together a little more than 20 years, but we were actually married a little more than 16 years.
All right, all right. Yeah. So, what I'm saying? So, I don't know if you're going to even get into any of that tonight. I won't press on that. But I've been married for 25 years. So, I've been off the market, what I'm saying, for a minute. And Nick, you was off, then on. Brandon, you off, recently off, however room, however however that play out, what I'm saying, you're off, but you are probably the most recent having to go through this dating scene. And I'ma just
Mhm.
say what I hear. I understand that the dating scene ain't no joke these days, and it's a little crazy. So how you felt about the dating scene before you kind of jumped out? Hold on. If you can jump on, you just let me know where to send the link. We would love to have the old man. He our surprise guest if he can kind of figure out the technology of it. Just tell me where to send the link, and I'm gonna get you on if you can get on. But anyway, you most recently, Brandon, off the dating scene. What was that like in today's age? Like the dating scene, what it looked like?
It was definitely different or a challenge in the streets is like what I like to call it. Um, the online dating, just meeting people different places and just trying to find somebody who you vibe with on a good level. Um, you got to pass the eye test, then you got to pass the could she possibly be wife material moving forward? It's just a lot, and then the ladies are looking for the same thing in their men. So, just trying to find a balance and trying to find something that you were compatible or that I was compatible with. It could definitely be a bit overwhelming at times, but yeah, those streets were nothing to play with, man. It's a lot going on, a lot of different avenues that you have to choose from. So you just got to choose wisely and be smart about it.
What did you find most challenging in the dating scene while you was out there, man? What's like one of the top challenges out there?
I would say, I guess, kind of narrowing down your options. Do you date multiple people at one time, or do you kind of concentrate on one person and figuring out if I invest my time in this one person, is it going to be worth my time? Is it going to lead to something more than just going out to eat or going to the movies or whatever activity you had planned? Just trying to time management and figuring out what was for you.
Right, right. Okay, Nick, you been out there. You was out there, then you got off. Then now you back out there. I don't know how out there you are right now, but how did you see, what you think about the dating scene? Like what was that challenge out there, or what you think about the current dating scene?
Bruh, it's crazy. Um, I'm I, I'm in my 50s now, so like I just told you, my first marriage, we were together for more than 20 years. So a lot
Hmm.
has changed since then, and you know what I've been through. So,
Hmm.
and being as old as I am, I've learned a lot. I've learned about a lot about myself, and I've learned a lot more about what marriage it actually is and what to be looking for in a marriage. And I think about all that stuff, and then so you talk to these females, and they tell you, oh, I want this, I want that, and I want this, I want a man to be like this. But then when they get the man like that, they don't act the part. So it's really crazy. So and you just people say, well, there's nobody perfect. You're not gonna find the perfect man. You're not gonna find the perfect woman. So I guess it's just figuring out which one, who you can deal with, who you can be with, and who you can make it with. Because nobody's
Right,
perfect.
right,
It's just who you can deal with. So
right.
what I mean by that is do I want to settle? Do I want to settle with a woman that cursed, but everything else is all right, or do I not want a woman that cursed, but she's a good, she keeps a good clean house, but it's a bunch of different stuff. It's just who you can deal with, who you can relate to, who you can tolerate.
Right.
You know,
Right. Yeah.
uh,
Nah.
it's just a lot of different issues, man, that I have learned. And so I don't even know if we're gonna talk about a lot of this stuff tonight, but I've learned a lot,
Hey.
and the dating scene has changed a lot. Uh, ah, it's just a lot.
Now I know you said something. I'm gonna bring it up. I'm bring it up, man. Feel free to talk about whatever you want to. But I'm bring it up. You said like you was on doing something, and they was telling you something. They were like, man, you got to watch it. They out here wanting to pig.
Oh God,
They out here pigging.
yeah,
Oh no.
I'm like, bro, what? They doing what?
yeah,
You got to
yeah,
deal with all that. Yeah.
yeah.
So
I'm gonna keep it PG, but pegging is, it's not for me. That's.
Yeah, we
I'm gonna
won't
put
be
it like this
participating
here.
in anything of that matter.
I,
no,
I
So
want.
no,
that's
at
gonna be a
all.
no. That's gonna be an NO for me.
Oh, so y'all know what I'm talking what it is then, huh?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
I've
yeah.
heard
Oh,
of
We
such
know
things.
heard of
yeah.
such
Well,
things.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
So, but see, when I was married to my first wife, wasn't no such thing. And if it was, it wasn't out in the open. That was something. I guess it was kind of hush hush. But now
Yeah.
it's out there. It's not a secret anymore. It's like
Yeah,
everybody doing everything to everybody. So, and
yeah,
pegging. No, I don't want to. I don't want to be. I don't want to be
yeah.
pegged.
All right, bro. I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna stop you before you go too far. Stop you before you go too far, man. Hey, so with this dating scene, and the reason I want to talk about Cheesecake, right? The Cheesecake Factory. Y'all done saw the list, right? I know you. If
Hmm.
you're on social media, you done seen the list. And the list is unacceptable first dates or places to go. And Red Lobster on there, Cheesecake Factory, Applebee's, Chili's. And don't you don't take no woman, a good looking woman to a chain restaurant. Take me to Ruth Chris. Pardon me, ma'am. Ruth Chris is a chain restaurant, right? Unless it's a mom and pop shop, it's a chain restaurant, right? So how y'all feel about like because to me I'm gonna tell you like this and Brandon, I know we not going there with you because Brandon explained to Lexus what pegging is, so she talking about what is
Yeah, I
that.
talk.
Yeah. Yeah, explain that. But this the thing, right? So you got the Cheesecake Factory, you got all these expectations, and my mindset is, and I have told my oldest son, will teach my youngest son, and teach my daughter, you don't give a girlfriend wife privileges. You
There you
don't
go.
give a boyfriend wife, husband privileges. Taking you to Ruth Chris and all those things. I ain't saying while we dating we would never go there, but baby, that's probably date 15 and 20 before I'm taking you.
Yeah.
Before I'm taking you, because when you going somewhere like Ruth Chris or something like that, you may as well say that bill is automatically off top 250, 300. Depending on what
Hmm.
you eat, what you drink, whatever, that's all automatically 250, 300. When me and my wife we went to New York a few years ago, and I took her to Del Frisco's. That's the first time she's been to like that high end of a steakhouse. Now we've gone to some places with some nice steaks, and it costs, but like the quote unquote high end steakhouses, that like when she saw the bill, you know, yes, babe, date 15 or 20. But when she saw the bill, she like that bill. I said, babe,
Somebody
I
got a
already
problem.
I already counted for this bill to be like 250. So at a minimum 250. So, you know, that's what it is. How y'all feel about this list? How y'all
In
feel about
reviewing
this
the
list?
list, in reviewing the list,
Uh-huh.
I looked at it a little bit earlier. There are some unacceptable places on there that I wouldn't want to go to on a date. I'm looking at Buffalo Wild Wings, Wingstop, IHOP, Denny's, Waffle House. Yeah, we're not going doing that. But to me, Cheesecake Factory is good. It'll be fine. But at the end of the day, it's all in what you're doing with the company you have. If you're
Mm-hmm.
comfortable and you and your mate are vibing, it doesn't really matter where you at as long as you're having a good time with who you're with. So to have a standard of what's acceptable or not, I don't I don't really subscribe to that. As long as you
Mm-hmm.
happy with who you're with, you can have a good time wherever you are. So we can go to Cheesecake Factory, Applebee's, Chili's, all that's fine with me as long as I'm having a good time with my lady.
Right, right. I can see that. I can see that. Now um my thing, Nick, I'm gonna let you answer. Then I'm gonna give you chime in my thoughts. What you think?
Well, I tend to I agree with brother Brandon. There are a few things, few places that I saw in there that I wouldn't want to go to, like a buffet, little stuff, little cheap stuff like that. But all these other high end restaurants I've never been to. You know what I'm saying? I think the best one I've ever been to on that list was Red Lobster, and
Mm-hmm.
I saw nothing wrong with that. But like I
Right,
said, I've never been to an expensive restaurant myself.
right,
Okay,
right.
and so I agree with brother Brandon. As long as y'all having fun and y'all getting to know each other and y'all communicating and the vibe is right, who cares what restaurant you go to? I mean, don't go to no cheap restaurant, but if you're having fun and the vibe is right, y'all doing y'all thing, all right. Why do
Yeah,
you have to go and spend $200 and $300 to have fun?
right, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I would
That's
say
my
this.
take on
Yeah, no, and I would say this, like, you coming late night from the club, late night from the movie, something like that. Would I hit a Waffle House or Denny's, whatever? We have done that. You know what I'm saying? I think it's context, time of day, whatever. But if that's your demand, you're gonna probably put me off because it's like
it.
what
Okay.
what's most important to you,
Understood.
right? What's most important to you? And I might try you to take you somewhere crazy just to see what's most important to you. I might pull up in something crazy just to see what's most important to you if I'm feeling serious.
Yes,
Now, if we
sir.
being real as men, if
Right.
we being real as men on here,
Come on.
we kind of territorial, and when we start spending a lot of money, we expecting something. And
Come
you
on.
go to asking me to take you to Roof Chris,
Come on.
girl. Yeah,
Come on.
I think it's Shannon Sharp says he like we going to Roof Chris. He say, "Oh, you said we having sex after this?" Like, no, we ain't having sex. When
Yeah.
you asked me to go to Roof Chris, we having something,
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying I know people might say, "Oh, I can't believe the man of God is saying that," and this and this and that. Listen, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I mean, 1,000. Forget 100. I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you because when you start digging into a man's pocket, you are setting yourself up for some expectations, right?
Yep.
I don't care how holy he is. He after about 5 dates, he done spent like 4 or 5 car payments on you. He gonna need some lubing.
There you
He
go,
gonna want he gonna
brother.
want something. He gonna want something. That's just real. So what do y'all when it comes to dating, right? What's important to you? Like I'm gonna put it in man terms. How do you hunt? How do you hunt? What because there's a lot of women out there wondering what good men, such as you brothers are, really look for in a woman. How do you hunt? Nick, I'm gonna let you jump in there first. How do you hunt? What's important to you when you're looking for that wife material?
Brother, like I told you just a few minutes ago, I've learned a lot now. It seems like the stuff that I've learned recently has changed my whole outlook on what I'm looking for. So now I'm looking for, somebody that not only have the same interests that I have, but somebody that have the same beliefs that I have. You know what I'm saying? And I've learned that not don't be so quick to uh, go for somebody that look good to the eyes, that please the eyes. She got to please the heart. So uh, that's a whole different area that that I'm looking for. So she got to have the same. We got to have the same beliefs and some of the same interests. Um,
Okay.
I'm not
Okay.
looking for something. She don't have to have, the perfect body. Because, like I said, I'm 50. So all that, tight butt and perky breasts, that stuff don't mean nothing to me no more. I could settle for, a little sag here and there, some stretch marks, a little, a little poochy belly. Hey, I'm in my 50s now. I'm a mature man. You know what I'm saying? So
Right. Right.
all that, all that other stuff, I can do without that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
I can hear you. I can hear you, Brandon.
I think I would be lying if I said I look for someone who is pleasurable to the eye at first. You gotta, if you're gonna be around somebody, they need to look good to you at least.
Right.
Finding somebody that looks good to you, and then also just finding the vibe. I like to try to find someone who, okay, we're going out to eat, we're doing this, we're having a good time. But can we vibe just staying at the house watching television? Can we vibe going to a football game? Can we vibe? Can we vibe going to church?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
that different thing. So just as long as your beliefs and what you want kind of align, um, you're in a good situation. So yeah, that's what I feel about
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on just a minute. I'm gonna try and get
You get Unc on here.
Unc. I'm gonna try and get Unc on here. I'm gonna get rid of one of these things here. Uh oh, he having technology. I got no camera. I got sound though. I got sound. But yeah, let's see what I got. Let me see. I'm gonna mute Unc until Unc good. Uh, where we, but in so like when I was hunting, man, and I think I would definitely hunt different to a certain degree about my approach, but what I would look for hasn't changed. I want if I boil it down to, I wanted a woman I could build with. If I can't build with you, we ain't got nothing, right? Um, I wanted a woman I could build with, and once I had that woman I could build with, like that's important. And I think that they get overlooked a lot because in order to have a woman you can build with, as a man, you got to know what you want to build, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get a woman who is only capable, and I'm gonna just use, world type terminology, if you get a woman who can only build, capable of building a trailer, but you want a mansion, you got the wrong woman. Y'all ain't
Yeah.
gonna set horses. You know what I'm saying? Because there's gonna be expectations and things you want to do that she ain't gonna want to do. Hey, you there? All right.
I'm here.
All right. You got the thing playing somewhere else because it's like looping back in.
Oh yeah. Let me cut off my phone. I had it on my phone.
Okay. Okay. So
Okay.
I want a woman that that I could be capable of building with. That's like at the top of the list. I will say I want a woman that's is attractive to the eyes, but if she look good and can't take care of my heart, first, can you take care of my heart? Then, in a lot of cases, we can deal with taking care of the eyes. Because I ain't gonna go after somebody who has zero appeal to me, but I
No.
need that woman like that's got. It take us 30. I don't know, 30 minutes just for you to do your face. Forget getting dressed. 30 minutes just to do your face every time we leave the house or whatever. Because you just got maybe that sensitivity or whatever, or insecurity. I need you to look naturally beautiful.
Yeah.
I like natural beauty. Um, it's
Mm-hmm.
great you can dress it up. When you put on some makeup, it take it to another level. But without the makeup, you killing it. You know what I'm saying? But if I can't build with you, you cute, but I can't build with you. You cute, but I can't hold a conversation with you. You cute, but you mean is all get out. I don't
Yes,
want
sir.
that. I don't want that. I'm good. So Yeah, we got the old vet. This was the surprise guest. We didn't know if we was gonna get on here, and we definitely looking to get some of his wisdom out of here. Uncle, I don't know how much you heard us talk about so far and what this current dating scene looks like. What was dating like? Wife, me say something crazy. But what was dating like back in your day? Because you
Well,
the elder statesman.
uh, it, it was basically the same. You know, the thing is that because I was listening to you gentlemen, and that's one reason I want to get on because I want to chime in here because it, uh, looking at that list and I saw the woman when she made the comment. It seems as though she was worried more about how much money we spend in the ambiance than the person themselves. So you instead of concentrating on the person, you worry about the place that you took. Long as I think it's a nice place or a safe place, I think you ought to be, more worried about that than, where I took you. I'll tell you that from my wife, and we had a conversation before. I said, I think one thing that attracts. Now, don't get me wrong. When you're a man, you're a man. It's eye appeal the first time. You got to look good. I got to be something that you like. You know what I mean? Before you would approach it. Because
Right, right.
you ask somebody asks you, what are you looking for in a woman? Oh, I want one with a good heart, and I want one with a good disposition. When you first see it, all you're looking at is
You
the
don't know
outside
him.
packaging. It takes time to understand the heart of a person. And I think that's what drew me to her was the heart that she has. But that first
Hmm.
date or the first, you know, interaction, all you looking at is the physical, not the spiritual or the mental. As I'm saying. So basically, it's still the same. It might
Hmm.
have been 50, 60 years, but it's basically it's you just got the girls today seem to have a different mentality than the young ladies of my era anyhow.
Uh oh. Uh oh. I'm gonna swerve back into that lane, but I'm gonna park it for a minute because that was
Okay.
gonna take us a minute. I'm coming back to that because I want to talk about that different. But I want to talk about because we're talking about the looks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go ahead. Y'all ain't even got a nod. Y'all can look off. I listen. These doggone BBLs, the lashes, the tarantulas look like a furry caterpillar, and I ain't trying to be demeaning to women. The furry caterpillar on your eyelashes,
Mr.
the you,
Snuffleupagus.
yeah, it's the snuffleupagus. Yes, you know what I'm saying. The okay, you really can't have any natural hair. It's always weave. It's always a wig, and it's a bad lace front job a lot of times or whatever. You got all of that, and then this what I hear women say. The man will go and take the natural beauty, the lady that don't have all that, ain't always got on makeup, ain't looking like Bozo the Clown, whatever. I'm sorry, ain't overdone with the makeup, and they're like, why he go for that basic beat? This what they saying about themselves. And I'm like, the reason he go, and y'all check me if I'm wrong, reason he went for the basic chick is multi-tiered. One, she was just naturally beautiful with nothing else. So he saw that natural beauty and he was good with that. Two, he was worried about if she gonna be too high maintenance. Cause all them lashes, if you gonna have them on, I want them done right. If you gonna have your hair, if you gonna have the lace front wig on, I want it to actually look like it might be yours. You know what I'm saying? And so when we get into this, and listen, that butt, that not if you either got to have it natural or you don't, because it's a friend of mine. She say you can tell when it's fake, because of the proportion of the thigh meat to the butt meat.
You got to find a
I
good
always
balance.
you got to find a good balance. So you just had somebody just
Boy,
go put it on, and they ain't even know how to do it right. But how much of that matters or doesn't matter to you guys? Like, if you, for us that's married, those that are spoken for and want to sleep peacefully tonight, you know what I'm saying? still, let's just step out. You out there, you seeing this? What, like, does any of that matter? Is any of that really getting your attention beyond maybe wanting to smash? What y'all think about it? Whoever want to jump in.
I'm more on the natural beauty. I know a lot of ladies, wear the weave or the wigs, but I like real hair if I can help it. Um, I'll probably get in trouble. I'm not a big fan of the eyelashes. Like, it's you got eyelashes on your face. What's wrong with those? Like, you putting those long ones on that look like caterpillars. Like, it's to me it's not necessary. But like it does enhance it sometimes, so it's not horrible. I like the real most of the time. And as far as BBLs go, I'm not a big fan of that. It might be good to look at every now and then walking by, but I don't want it next to me like that if it's not natural in the way that it was given to her.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
can I
okay.
chime in here?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Well, I want to chime because y'all using all these acronyms and stuff. Okay, you talking to pops here now.
Okay,
I don't even know what you're talking about.
fake butts.
Okay,
Fake
fake
butts
butt.
where they go to the doctor and they can get fake butts, fake breasts, fake cheekbones. It's a number of other fake things they can get. I'm actually kind of would be okay with the rejuvenation, but that's a whole nother thing. My wife worked in the OBGYN for a while, but that's a whole nother thing. But it's fake, 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 right?
Yes. Yeah.
And part of me here, because I want to be clear about part of it that just don't look right, but part of it for me is, why do you want it, right? Because at the end of the day, even if we go back to the Cheesecake Factory thing, do you want to go to a high end restaurant so that you can go because you think that's going to enhance our interaction, or you want it so you can go back and holler at your road girl and say, "Girl, you won't believe where he took me." And most women want to go back and be able to say, "Girl, you won't believe where he took me, good or bad." And I ain't interested in that.
Right.
I ain't interested in that. Even to this day with my wife, if she wanted I've said this on the show before, if she wanted a high end purse, the most important thing to me out there, whether I can afford it or not, if she wanted just because she wanted for her, this ain't for the girls to look at and compliment and all this, I'm gonna try and get it for you. But if it's all about what your girls gonna say and your girls giving you props for getting it, I don't want to get it for you.
Yeah.
I don't want you to have it. Period. So that's what we talking about, like the fake butts, the fake stuff, and just that overall presence. Because you know what's funny? Let me swerve into the race lane for a minute. Let me um the race lane for a minute. It is funny to me that there are a lot of people going out and getting fake butts, fake breasts. They're getting lip implants. They're getting all the things that they used to tell black women were ugly.
Mhm.
Then black women, being some of the most beautiful creatures on the face of the earth, are subscribing to that they're not beautiful enough just as they are. That's part of my underlying thing too with it, because it's like you keep subscribing to these false narratives that you're not enough, you're not beautiful enough, and this, that, and the other. And at the end of the day, women don't dress for women. I mean, women don't dress for men, women dress for women.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I
that
concur.
that's my thought. That's my thought. So what's your thought, Nick?
Well, one thing because I heard Nick mention it earlier. He's in his 50s now. I guess he's in his 50s, so things look different. My mindset is I'm almost 70, Nick, now, so my mindset is different because now when I was young, the physical that attracted me more, but
Yeah.
now as I got older, uh, the maturity or the
There you go.
mature is what look good, because my
Yeah.
wife, because a woman is never satisfied with her body. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't care. They could be the finest thing in the world. They ain't gonna find something. That's just women. I'm gonna say it. But I, what I tell my wife is, because when we're talking,
Right.
and sure enough, she's talking about, she gained a little weight. Right? So what?
Yeah.
Most of us are
Yeah.
gain weight. But
There
my
you go.
thing on that is, I told her I'm an old country boy, in the way I like to tell her. And a country boy like meat with his taters. So you know what I mean. So if you got a little
Come
weight on you,
on.
that's
Come
fine with me.
on.
I'm just from my perspective, okay?
Gotta have
Come
I
that.
give
Gotta
on.
that
have that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. I like a little meat with my taters. I like that up. I like that up.
yes, sir.
And it now when I was first dating my wife, cause she, slender little thing, and just to me, hey girl, you sexy. And my brother, boy, you always like those slim girls. And my brother always liked super thick girls. I say, listen, let me tell you something. Here's the truth. See, when your woman get older, if she don't put in the work, you gonna start getting unsatisfied if you ain't shifted your mind from how she looked to all the other things. When my wife get older, she just gonna get thicker. He say, boy, you done thought that too far ahead. I say, hey, she just gonna get thicker. So it's just gonna get better. It's gonna be like the wine. It's gonna age well. And he laughed at me. But it's like, that's not that that was all important, but that's a thing. But I just appreciated the natural beauty, that
Mm-hmm.
came with my wife, um,
Yes.
the simplicity, the simplicity that came along with her. Nick, what you got, man? You looking?
I tend to agree with Unc a little bit of what he was saying. We older, man, and all that butt lifts and blowed up lips and eyelashes and stuff, that don't bother us. We're mature men. We are looking for a mature woman. And so, like I said earlier, stretch marks don't bother me. And I don't know about Uncle, but stretch marks don't bother me. Uh, a little bit of sag here and that don't bother me. I'm looking for maturity. I'm looking for a woman with her head on straight. I'm looking
Yes.
for a woman that is strong minded, strong willed, and independent. She don't have no issues. She don't have daddy issues. She is living for herself. She done been out in the world, know what the world is like, and know there's nothing else out there in the world for her. She ready to come in. She ready to be a wife. She ready to build like you were saying, so we can build together. And I don't have to worry about her, trying to please her girlfriends or trying to look good because that's not what it's about now. This is about us living as a couple, trying to be one and trying to live together and build together. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for butt lip BBLs and all this other kind of stuff. Because at the end of the day, all that stuff kind of firm and hard. I'm a 50-year-old man. I like something soft. I want to, if I wrap my arms around it, I want it to be soft. I don't want it to feel muscular like me. I'm a man. I can feel rub my own arms and feel hard. I want my woman to be soft. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for all that enhancement, all that fake stuff. Listen, guys, y'all laughing, but I see these girls now, and I see women my age. They got this stuff in their hair, and it look like rope in their hair. I'm telling you, look like they got jump rope in their hair. I'm like, girl, where you get all that rope in your hair? There's a girl I kick it with though, man. But it's true. It's true.
That's
All
true.
this fake
Hey.
stuff. Now, if your hair's short, I can deal with a woman with short hair. If I want her hair to be long, I just play with her and her hair long enough and her hair grow. But if she don't want it long, then she can keep it short. But I'm not. We don't have to go and get 10 pounds of hair put in her head. You know. I'm just saying.
Hey, hey,
So that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for real. Natural beauty is
Brandon,
enough for me.
Brandon, reel us back in, man, because I think we finna go out there. You better reel us back in, boy. Hey, we might go out there, man, in a minute. Not jump rope, man. Oh my lord. Jump rope. Oh Lord. Okay. Man. All right. So we want real. Okay. So that's all on the external, right? We want real. And brother, we're gonna find you another wife. We're gonna find you the right one. This time we're gonna seek the Lord, right? We're gonna seek the Lord, but we're gonna find you
You
that
talking
wife.
to me, bro?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She gonna be soft. She gonna be soft, man. We're gonna find you that wife.
There you go.
So the the other discussion that's kind of out there is the 50-50, right? Particularly once you get married. And I'm actually ask you, Brandon, because you marching towards the altar. You know, if everything God say the same, all that, you marching towards it, whatever whatever God has in plan for you, and joining the husband fraternity. We're gonna do you if you once you pop it, whatever we do, let's just go to the Dominican for your bachelor's part. No, we ain't going to the Dominican, bro. We ain't. I want to live. I want
We
to
can
live.
make it happen. We
But
can make it happen.
hey, dude, we ain't gonna make it happen. You gonna make it happen with me. I heard that a married man or a soon to betrothed man can't go to Dominican without getting in trouble. I don't want to test the waters. But it would be nice to just go over there and pray. We can take Aunt with us. So we just go pray in the
Let's go
Dominican.
pray. Have a
Uh
prayer meeting.
yeah, that's it. Have prayer meeting, mission
There
trip.
you go.
So as one that's marching down that road, or at least desiring to be a husband, how do you see, because this 50-50 comes up more in the marriage, like helping pay the bills and this and that. What do you think that how do you what's your approach to that? How do you feel the house should be taken care of in terms of providing for it financially?
Well, Alexis and I have definitely had these conversations and just moving forward in our relationship. Um, I've been kind of a 50-50 guy, knowing like if you got it, I got it. If you got it, we got it. You know, that type of mind frame. Um, Definitely knowing that, the man is the one who should be able to provide and protect and things of that nature. I'm for that, and as long as it's not that she is just sitting back not doing anything, I want to have someone who is, even if not 50-50, she's still willing to support and have my back in whatever the household may need moving forward like that. So definitely, I understand the 50-50, but as long as the lady is supportive of what is going on and not just kind of sitting back doing anything, 50-50, and, you know, if I can't cover it all, she's gonna be there to have my back so that we can make sure that we take care of everything together. As far as that's concerned, so
Gotcha,
definitely
gotcha.
along those lines on the 50-50 end of things.
Okay, okay. Um, I'm gonna come at you last. You've been the longest tenured, and I want to talk about that with you, Nick. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, when you talk about 50-50, what if the situation is where the woman makes more than the man? There are
Hmm.
situations like that where the woman makes more than the man. Now, the man got a job, all right? He brings home his paycheck, but the woman makes a little bit more than the man. Does it still get split 50-50? Now, I'm going to tell you about me. I just bring my check home, put it in the bank account, and let her pay the bills. But if the bills, the money coming in is more than the bills, then we should have enough to put aside. Okay, to put aside. So if we sit down and count up all the bills, and the bills are this much, and we got just for kicks and giggles, say we got $500 we can put aside. But for some reason, we got to keep touching into that 500. Something ain't right. Okay.
Hmm.
Um. So 50-50. Uh, I guess 50-50. All right. I don't know. I mean, it's whatever works for you. Whatever works for that particular that particular couple. Maybe 50
I
50
think
don't work for somebody else.
it's definitely a balance that you have to find, and probably
Yeah,
more so once you get married. I'm not sure how a lot of people arrange their accounts or things of that nature, but um, more so when you're actually married, the 50-50 probably comes more into play than if you're just kind of dating. Um, I was reading an article where the 50-50 rule should be in place when you're dating. Maybe not splitting bills per se, but all right, we go out to eat one time, I got it. The next time we go out to eat, you got it. Splitting bills like that. But once you get married or you move in with each other, you definitely want to look at finances and how they can be split, or how I can help support you more, or how you can help support me more. So help me help you help us is the type of thing I'm looking at.
Okay.
and
Um.
I
Oh
understand what you. I'm sorry, brother.
no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm saying, I was just saying, I understand what Brother Brandon was saying, and I agree. I wasn't even thinking about the going out part because, like I said, I put my check in the bank account, and I'm okay. I'm speaking on my last marriage. I put my check in the banking account that she had control of. So, when we went out, I didn't care what money was spent, as long as the bill got paid. I didn't know if she was spending mine or hers. The food got paid for. So was it being split 50-50? I don't know. I had what
Right.
I needed when I needed it. She had what she needed. The bills got paid. That's all I was concerned about.
Right. Right. Oh, you came up in a different era when the expectation for men and money and what have you. So how that shaped, saying over the years how y'all may or may not have shifted. Was it like your money? Was it your money is our money, but her money was her money? What? How was that?
Well, in our case, and I think I was really blessed in that area. Now, like when we were dating and we would go out or something, I heard Brandon talk about that. I paid all the time, because I'm taking her out, and even after we done been together long, I always paid. But the way we handle it, and like everything, this is a conscious decision we're making. All the money goes in one pot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Now, I I took out savings before my money come home. She took out what she was gonna save. In the 401 and the Christmas club and all these different things. You had all that. Then everything went in the pot. Now, as Nick was saying, if anything was extra, sure, okay, project money and stuff like that we would take out, but money was there, and whatever. Now we would sit down and prioritize what we may want to spend on, the little extra on. We would talk about that, but all our money, it's always been our money. Of course, I made more money than her, but it didn't matter because one thing I never had to worry about with the woman that God blessed me with, I got that from Deacon Ackerman, was throwing away money, wasting money, and if a man ain't got to worry about his money and his children, there ain't much a man got to worry about. You know what I mean? So he's
right.
truly blessed in that, and in that area, I was truly blessed in that area.
Right. Right. And I'll say, man. So for me, um, money is the most difficult. Even after 25 years, it's still our sticking point for me and my wife. We're in different situations, what have you. My mindset has definitely matured, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
still evolving to a degree, right? But there was a time where it took both of our paychecks to take care of the house. Then we reached a time where it didn't take both our paychecks to take care of the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
My whole thing like I don't believe in 50-50 from this perspective. It's like it's 100% of 100%, like what you were saying.
There you go.
100% of everything going to the pot. So we got, not I got. Now this,
Right.
Right.
now I'm talking about from a marriage standpoint, right? We
Mm-hmm.
got,
Yeah.
not I got. So if we got, then that means that we should be able to talk and coordinate and whatever our money is. And I'm getting to that point. I just talked to my wife recently about some changes I want to make with finances. so that moves in a different way because my wife is better with money than I am. That hands down. And I came
Mm-hmm.
into marriage as someone that was immature and felt like I need to handle all the money, but I'm bad with money. I'm bad with money. I I am a impulse shopper, or used to be. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not as impulsive now, but I'm definitely a decisive spender. If I see it, I like it, I want it, I get it. But how it has shifted over the years, it used to be if I see it, I like it, I want it, I get it. I didn't care. We'll figure out how to pay for it later. But now it's like if I see it, I want to buy it, and I can afford it, I get it, right? So it's like that mindset shift or what have you. But now I'm trying to get to that place of saying, hey, for where we're trying to go, hey, when I see a million, I want to see a net million sitting in the bank. I don't want to see a net million and no million pass through my hands. I need to see some of that sitting in the bank. So
Yes.
I know
Yes.
that I got to continue to evolve my mindset. But what would trouble me is this, that mindset that is out there, and this what seems to be the relationship conversation now, that why the 50-50 comes up, is my money is his money is our money, but my money is my money. This is how I look at it. Let's say I make $100,000 a year and she make $75,000 a year. Or let's just say I make $100,000 a year, she make $100,000 a year. And I say, hey babe, mortgage, house, cars, all the major bills, everything, utilities, all of the things that require our needs, I got. Sitting over there, when you ask most women who have that 50-50 bit that like are objective to the 100% mentality, they more on like they don't want the 50-50 because I ain't splitting no bill. That make you a roommate. But they also, you ask them, okay, if he taking care of everything, what are you doing with your money? Well, I got to take care of my upkeep. Oh, y'all should always have a nice vacation. If he taking care of all of the needs, the groceries, the light bill, the car payment, the insurance, he taking care of all that, y'all should be able to go in it. Hey, babe, I like to go take a weekend in Rio this year for vacation. You should be able to say, bet, babe, I already been stocking up the vacation fund. I've been putting something in the 401k. I've been putting something in the savings because you holding us down over here. I can make moves. Hey, I looked
Yes.
at this piece of property. Let's make an investment. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely
Like
agree
the
on that.
money should be
Yes, sir.
going like to what you were saying, Brandon. The money should be going to further us, but that
Yes.
ain't what's happening, right? That ain't what's happening in the greater conversation. It's just like in what I reason I'm bringing this up is because a lot of men are starting to feel slighted and burnt by marriage because they like, I can't win with her because everything is about her. It is enshrined that happy wife, happy life is the most detrimental thing, probably in the top 5 most detrimental things that's ever been said about marriage because it's nonsense.
Mm.
And I'm gonna go on the air and just go ahead and say this, and I'll explain it later. I don't want my wife happy. I don't want my
Oh, you
wife
got
to
to
be happy.
explain that. Well, I ain't gonna fly. You got to explain that one.
Yeah. I don't want my wife to be happy, right? And me and Nick was talking about this, and I've been recently looking at the difference between happiness and joy. Happiness is an external influence, and it's a temporary emotion.
Yep.
Happy, you take her to Roof Chris. She happy, and then she right back down, right after whatever. You get her the purse she wants. You go on the vacation you want. You compliment her, whatever. She's happy, and then it goes back down. It's a roller coaster. I don't want my wife happy. I want my wife to find joy because
Have joy.
joy is an internal, constant thing. So when
Yep.
you have joy, you experience those unhappy moments, it don't cause you to become bitter with your husband, bitter with your children, bitter with your road girls, because you have the source of your joy comes from inside. Happiness is always external, right?
Gotcha.
So when you are driven by happiness, let's just say this, you lose your job. And if your wife is driven by happiness, she gonna look at you a certain kind of way because she's thinking about how it impacts her happiness. But when your wife has joy, She like, okay, babe, we don't won before. We'll win again. We'll come back. What I need to do to help while we in this season, blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say I don't want my wife happy. I want joy, and I can't give her joy. That's something she has to find internally. But I can absolutely impact her happiness. I just got to walk around and be a jackrabbit for a little while, and her happiness will go the other way. But I can't disturb her joy. So that's what I mean by that. That's what I mean. I want her to be have joy, not necessarily to be happy. And I want to be joyful and not have her and not just be happy. So
A
that's what I
question
mean.
for the a question for the married and been married. What's your and I mean, and it's kind of personal, I guess. What's your take on accounts? Do I have an account? She have an account? We have an account? Are there three accounts? Is there something together? Like how did you do it, or how do you guys do it, and what works best for you guys?
Uh oh. Go for it, fellas. I come
Well,
in
Well,
last.
in my second marriage, um, we had one account, and I had my check went into the account that she had. I mean, I had access to it, but she had control over it, and she paid the bills. It worked for me. It was just, like I was saying about the extra money after all the bills have been paid. That's what I expect. I expect the numbers to add up.
Mhm.
I'm trusting you to pay all the bills. All right, because I'm putting my check in the account too. So I'm expecting you to pay all the bills, and I'm expecting a certain amount of money to be in savings because we do have goals to reach. I want to take that trip. I want to go on a cruise. I want to have nice things. You know, I want to buy that RV and travel once I retire. And so
Right?
that savings is going to help me ensure that I'm able to afford those things when I do retire. But if I look and the numbers aren't adding up, and we don't have the savings, then something is wrong. Okay, but up until then, it worked for me. My check. I didn't have an account. It was her account that I had access to, but she had control of, and I had no problem with it.
Yeah. What you think? How y'all manage that?
well, it's interesting that you say that because before probably we got married, uh, she was working with the state and her money was going into Sunshine Credit Union. Nice first, I guess is what it called. You
Mm-hmm.
know, my money was going into was Olin Credit Union. Then it turned into Envision. So once we got married and you're paying bills, but you're paying them out of two different accounts. So what we did was we came to one account, which is Envision, but we kept the other account open. So the bills are, we put money in both accounts. The bills would come out of first, but the savings and everything else we want to do would come out of Envision. So we kind of handle everything out of that, except everything that's directly pulled out would just
Exactly.
go into that one. So, but basically, yeah, we're on online, everything go into one and just pay from there.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right. Yeah. And for me, we started out with one. Um, then when we went through some major changes in our marriage, that's when a second account popped up. And we never have really kind of like we had access. We're on each account, but we had access, but we didn't really look in it. Like she had an account where her name is first and mine is second. I got one where mine is first, hers is second, and we kind of do that for a long time. And where we are at now is we have another account where both of us own, I think my name first, her second, but we both have kind of the same one at the same bank. But now she has more access to that account, right? She's looking at it, she's paying bills out of it. So it's kind of a one account to a certain degree. She still has another account that she has things that are automatically coming out of that. but we're discussing, okay, either how do we strategically use those accounts or potentially consolidate some of those accounts. We're at that phase now because we had to go
Right.
through some healing to get to a place where we can get back on that same page as it relates to just different areas of our marriage. So man, one of the reasons we do marriage coaching, marriage ministry, that type of stuff is we went through something. And so we
Mm-hmm.
share our story with people to help people heal and to overcome. But that healing, man, healing is not a one-time event. And that's like if I was to tell you anything, Brandon, as you're considering marriage, the only way to be a good husband is to first be a good man. The only like you really have to deal with and make sure. I used to coach husbands from a perspective, and I quickly peeped the game where husbands was kind of thought they was kind of pimping me, but I'm peeping the game, and I quickly changed because I could teach you how to be a good husband. It's like teaching you to be a good actor. I can give you the game to be a good husband. But now I try and start with teaching a man how to be a good man. Let's make sure
before a
we
husband.
solid as a man because you got to have a strong foundation as a man before you can be a good husband. If you ever find and the same is true for wives, um, but I'm talking to men now, is but if you look at any man husband that falters, when you follow that crack, it's gonna go back to his flaw as a man. Ain't got nothing to do with him being a bad husband. He was a bad man in that area or whatever that case may be. So the one thing I say is like look and make sure that I am the best possible man before I ever become a husband.
Mm-hmm.
Because you need to marriage is like this, man. Let's say this is 100%. You need to heal to the 100% that you are as an individual. But marriage is going to bring out some other areas you didn't even know you needed healing in. And they will
Mm.
Yep.
only come when you go through the fire of marriage. But if that first 100% ain't solid, marriage finna wreck you. It's finna wreck you. So you have to really be that good, solid man. And that's what, me and Nick, we've talked over the years. We talk about, we like dive into some real good stuff. Like one of the discussions we was having recently is this. And I came across it, and it shook me. Strong. So the statement was strong communities are built when you have common beliefs more so than common interests. So I took that and looked at it from a relationship. The predictor of, I believe, I'm starting to believe this as I'm studying this out. The predictor of whether your marriage is going to last is going to be whether y'all have common interests or common beliefs. And there's a distinct difference. Me and Nick
Mhm.
went kind of like to the extreme as we were talking about it. And I'm gonna use the most. I'm gonna just use something inflammatory a little bit. If we have a common belief, me and my wife, common belief that a woman should dress modestly. Let's say we have that common belief. We're gonna be fine. But if she have a common belief, she should be able to walk out as a married woman with half a behind out all the time. And I have a common belief that that isn't appropriate for a woman. We gonna fall. We gonna bump heads, and
Y'all gonna
eventually
bump
that bumping
heads.
heads gonna cause us to fall apart. I'm using a very an extreme example, but also something that I see men deal with. Right
Very
now,
valid though.
where I get on men is this: if you was okay with it while you was dating, don't all of a sudden not be okay with it once you get married. You should have talked about that belief then. So it's about the common interest versus the common thing. Like you run into a woman and say, "Hey," and we don't. And Nick really pointed this out. He said, "We don't really talk about that when we date. What don't we talk about? Oh, I believe in Jesus. I do too. Right? Oh, we got the same common belief.
Mm.
But what you didn't know is he believed in Jesus plus. You believe in Jesus only. We got a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm.
We're gonna have a problem. Because when she set up a Buddha next to the cross, You gonna say what's going on,
What is that?
right? Yeah, what's going on? So them beliefs in those things, but being that solid man or being that solid woman before you get married is so important. So
Okay,
important.
I'm gonna try to get some free game from you, and you don't have to give
All
it
right.
all. So I know it's probably. Give me if there's components to it. Can you give me two of the top components of being a good man or being a good husband? Or are there two
Oh,
different ones?
I
There's a
I'm
lot
a
that can be said
how
about that.
I'm gonna let each man give you two because each man on here have been married. So I'm gonna let each man give you two, and I'm gonna start with the elder statesmen. Two components of being a good husband or a good man
Mm.
that plays into being a good husband.
Well, being trustworthy is one. Got to be trustworthy, and I had to explain this to some young men one time. As part of being a good man, and it ties into being a good husband, I guess. You're a mighty poor man if you're not willing to die for what you love. So,
Mm.
you know, those two things is kind of how I, kind of at the foundation of what's driven me these years.
Yeah. Okay. Nick, give us
Well,
two.
I got something for you. I'm going to tell you about some mistake I made, and hopefully you don't make the same mistake. Bro, don't let your
I'm
pride
listening.
and ego get in the way.
Oh,
That's what that's what
yes.
I believe helped. That was a big part of the problem in my first marriage. I let my pride get in the way and see things like we got tonight with a bunch of brothers sitting around talking. I didn't feel like I needed to talk to any other man because in my mind I was the man. As far as it went, as far as my marriage was concerned, I was the man, and so it was my way, and that was the only way. But it was my pride, and so I wouldn't let no other man tell me, "Hey, Nick, you should do this way, or you shouldn't do that way." I wasn't trying to hear that, but that was all my pride, and so me thinking it was my way, and so when my ex-wife did say we needed help, I said I don't need no help. Ain't nothing wrong with me, but that was my pride, and I couldn't have been no more wrong. And so then when I
Mm.
realized, okay, yes, we do need help, it was too late. It was too late. So don't let your pride and ego get in the way, and be able to communicate. Communication, brother, is a big, huge part of a relationship. And don't be scared to be transparent. That's not gonna make you any less of a man. Let that woman know where you stand, how you feeling, what you feel. Communicate,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
also be able to take what she says in response to whatever you say. Those
Yeah.
are two important things in a marriage. Now, there's a lot
Can,
more, but we ain't got all night, so I'm gonna just
can,
leave you
can
with
I
that.
can I
Go
interject
ahead,
this too?
on.
Please
Because
keep dropping the
listening
knowledge.
to
I
Nick,
love it.
uh, the listening to Nick, it brought up. Um, don't don't confuse education with wisdom, because I may have had more schooling than my wife, but my wife is so much wiser, because there's a lot of times, like Nick saying, that pride, since you're a man and you think you know everything, and not listening, over the years you learn, if I listened to a woman, this would have been a lot easier, which I have, but like you said, now I am humble enough to admit, first thing I do is see what her opinion is, on a certain thing, and like he's saying, you can't let that pride make you so stubborn that you're not listening to sound reasoning. So I like that part when you spoke about that.
Yeah. 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 And I say, man, um, in integrity. So, in integrity being, it's kind of really just piggybacks on one of the things Unc said. Integrity being one with your word.
Mm-hmm.
So let your word be your word, period. Good, bad, or indifferent. You're gonna get it wrong sometimes, but stick with your word. Be honest on your word. I don't think I was always that guy early in marriage. Is just being one with your word. Um, and letting that be. And I definitely echo what Nick said, pride, this and that, all of those, everything that's been said so far. Let me give you another one, and I'll put it a different way about dying. I'm gonna take it to the next level because I'm coming at it from that biblical aspect. Husbands have to be the first to die in every way. I have to be willing to die in my comfort. I have to
Mm-hmm.
be willing to die
That's deep.
to my mission and surrender to God's mission. And I
Mm-hmm.
have to be willing to die for her growth or the opportunity for her growth. Here's one of the most challenging things you will face as a husband. There is true sacrifice does not guarantee honor. So when you sacrifice, if you're doing it and saying, okay, when I make this sacrifice, she gonna do that, that ain't real sacrifice because that's manipulation. True
Yeah.
sacrifice says, I'm gonna sacrifice because it's the right thing to do, regardless of her response. So when
Mm-hmm.
Christ died on the cross, he died not knowing who would accept his sacrifice. He died not knowing, but he said it's the right thing to do. So, in being that real man and being that a man that wants to be a husband, marriage is the most sacrificial relationship you're gonna ever enter into. So now I have to be the first to die. Now, if I die right and she comes up under for continuing with the biblical um, um, symbolity symbolism, if I die right, then she gets to come up under the blood of my sacrificial death because I did that death in honor of God, not of her,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm really finna give. I'm really giving you free game, right? So when we do our pre-marriage education thing, one of the sections that we cover is called covering the vows. When you make your vows, you are not making a vow to her. You are making a God to vow to God about His daughter that He is
Yeah.
gifting you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And so now I'm making a vow to Him. So I ain't even accountable to her. I'm accountable to Him because that's who I
Yep.
made the vow to. And because I made the vow to Him, now I have a greater level of accountability. So that means my sacrifice comes with that. But I want to be careful for men that your sacrifice is not reckless. That don't mean, see, true love for your wife doesn't mean giving her her way. True
Mm-hmm.
love for your wife means we're going to guide our home by godly standards. And sometimes you're not going to be okay with that. But because I love you and I know this is the right way, we're going to continue to follow God's path. I have to be in trouble because I made vows to Him. When I follow God's instruction and she unhappy about it, that becomes God issue to deal with, not
Mm-hmm.
mine, right? So sometimes what we like to do is, as men, is we want to make sure, and this goes to what Nick was saying, we want to make sure she heard it from us. Sometimes I just need you to hear it,
All right.
right? Sometimes I need you to hear it. Now, if you always having to hear it from somebody else, we got a different problem. But sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I just need you to hear
Mm-hmm.
it. And so
Yes.
I would say, like, being that good man, being learning the art of sacrifice and being one with your word. Um, I for lack of a better way of putting this, man, I'm finna say some crazy stuff.
Do it to it now.
Y'all prepare. I'm finna say some crazy stuff, right? For lack of a better way of putting it, I count it an honor that I can go to lunch um, with a female client or colleague and not be under suspicion because of my integrity.
Mm-hmm.
I count it an honor um, that I can give somebody a church hug and it not be seen no kind of way because of my integrity. I count that as an honor. Now, because I don't want somebody to think, oh, you think you this, you think you so good, this and this and that. Let me be honest with you. I've been married for 25 years. I've never cheated on my wife. That don't mean I ain't never want to cheat. See, I'm saying some crazy stuff, right? I'm always keep it real with
It's
you.
real
That
though.
don't mean that don't mean I ain't had temptation. That
Keep it
ain't
real.
mean that I ain't been presented some opportunities that could have went that way, right? That ain't mean I ain't been in vulnerable positions where I'm sitting here and the wrong thing said at the wrong time because there's tension at home that I couldn't have went that way, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, my relationship with God and my integrity mattered more than that. So when I say that,
Amen.
I'm not saying that I was perfect. What I'm saying is those opportunities came and those opportunities could have been had.
Mm-hmm.
I'm this, let me tell you something right now. Every man on this call, um, did they ever take that bank robbery off your record? So you ain't never been to prison, right? They ain't getting all messing with you. So let me put it this way, right? Let me be real on this. I'm make some assumptions here. Every one of the men that's on this podcast right now, y'all are in the upper echelon of African American men. Don't even matter how much money you make. Let me tell you why. If you're a committed black man without a prison record, with a decent job, that love the Lord and have a little bit of head on your shoulder, you already ahead of the pack in a lot of ways, which makes
Yes.
you highly desirable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you highly desirable for the woman that's looking for a good man, and it makes you highly desirable for the woman who's looking for a trophy. You are
Mm-hmm.
highly desirable. You
Really?
have a
Where they at?
target on your back, good and bad. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So having that integrity, having that ability to know, whoa, because I had to learn, whoa, I'm feeling a certain kind of way. I need, let me give you some more. Let me give you some more real. Golly, I'm gonna stop. I'm
Bring
gonna
it
stop
now.
you there.
Bring it now.
I'm gonna give you some
Yeah.
more real, right? I had a situation, right? And this is during our healing journey. And there was a young lady that I worked with that called a little more of my attention than they should have. And I was in this weird place again of trying to healing in marriage. And one day I stepped to the young lady. I said, "Hey, I can't be around you no more." Like she's never did anything out the way. She never, tried to say something weird or like just to test the waters or whatever. But I'm a man. I can pick up. And women, whether they like to admit it or not, they always like to say, they always like to look at things from a perspective of that men hunt. But women are expert hunters. There's a reason lioness do all of the hunting in pride. That women are expert hunters. And the instinct that a woman has that a man doesn't have, a man knows when a woman is starved for attention. A woman knows when a man is wounded. She can smell it. So
Deep.
I'm around this woman, and I am noticing that she ain't putting nothing down that's trying to draw me in, but she also putting out some symbols that if I say the wrong thing, that maybe some I say, hey, I can't be around you no more. This and that. I say, I can't, right? And I broke it down, whatever. Now here's the thing. I told my wife. I had that conversation with my wife. Told her who it was. We had that conversation, and my wife said something to me. She said, "I could see that." Because she had met the young lady a couple of times, so she kind of picked up on her spirit. She's very perceptive of spirit and that type of thing. My wife knows the type of woman I would be attracted to if I was going down that path, right? I told my wife. We had that conversation. That takes maturity.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That takes emotional awareness. That takes emotional intelligence to understand when you're in danger, right? And to get help. But if you got that pride, that ego, you'll keep playing around like Samson and laying your head in the lap and wonder how you wake up. Oh my goodness. I know I went too deep, too real, you know what I'm saying? But you'll find yourself in that situation. You know what I'm saying? So but that's what I'm saying. So you asked the question, those are and I'm probably giving you more than two, but like if you can hear
Nah, I
what I'm
love it.
saying, all of that is what makes you a good husband because the the man who is most likely to cheat or step out on his woman is the man who believes that he can't cheat and step out on his woman. Because now you living in a fairy tale world.
Yes.
And that means your head ain't even on the swivel, right? Your head ain't even on the swivel that danger could come your way. You have to know the first rule if you don't want to be a man, if you don't want to be a man, and it's more than stepping out than just sex or whatever, because here's where here's where good men, I ain't talking about greedy men, here's where good men are most tempted to step out when they are looking for a safe place to bleed. And there is no better ER nurse than a side chick because she smell the blood. She know how to stroke his ego. She know how to give him rest. She knows how to create the illusion of peace. That's where good men fall. A good man is actually not going to run out. And I keep trying to tell women this. They don't like hear me, but I keep trying to tell them. Good men who cheat do not cheat because of sex. Sex happened, but it wasn't even about sex. He cheated because he could lay his head in her lap. That's a sign of peace. He found a place he could be vulnerable without getting his nuts clipped. I,
Keep it real, bro.
am sorry, brother. I went too deep, man. I went too deep. And I got a nice bed back here in the other room if I have to sleep here, but I went too deep.
You for
I
real?
That
got I
just,
got
Yeah.
a I got another
That's
question
keeping it
if
real,
y'all don't
brother.
mind me asking.
yeah. Go
Go
Um,
ahead,
ahead.
man.
as far as being a man and showing emotion. So I found here in my relationship, I have shown more emotion. I've cried more and talked more than I ever have in my life. So, and I know the perception of men is like, oh, that's soft or you shouldn't do that. How do y'all feel about being able to be emotional with your wife or your mate and being able to express in a way that, for me, a way that I've never had to express before?
Who want to
Hey,
tackle it first?
I'm gonna jump
Brother,
in first
you know
because
what? I just told you a few minutes ago to be open and transparent with your woman. Uh,
Hmm.
now I don't think that makes you any more or less a man if you shed a few tears because you have feelings. We're men, but we're human. Okay, and so
Yeah.
we have emotions too. We have feelings. All right. So where is it written that a man can't cry? Where is it written that a man crying makes him any less or more man? I've never seen that book or read that statement. I've cried. That didn't make me no more or less a man. I'm just a man that's been hurting. Now it takes
Mm-hmm.
a minute to get me to that point, but still, I cried and cried like a baby in front of my ex-wife. But I wasn't no more a man. You know what I was? I was more at peace after I cried, after I showed that emotion, because I dropped that weight off my back that had me burdened into that set of emotions. All right. So I don't think there's anything wrong with you being emotional with your woman. That might help because she just might think, well, damn, he opening up, he being real, he laying it all out there for me to see.
Yeah.
So I don't
Yeah.
think there's anything wrong with
Uh,
I agree. I agree with Nick on that because for a man to cry, a man to really show emotion, to me, that's a heart thing, and who has your heart more than your spouse? Because my wife understands me better than anyone else. So, she is the only one that really have ever seen me break down and cry. You know
Come
what I'm
on.
saying? It's
Come
because
on.
her heart is the same heart. If anybody got my back, if anyone understands me, it is her. So
That's
I
right.
have no problem, being vulnerable with her. And I know because she see me cry, because I'm gonna lay my head on her shoulder and she gonna
Come on.
she gonna know I'm still strong. But I'm able to do that because that how you hear people say that love that runs from heart to heart. I have no problem being vulnerable in front of that woman,
Right.
in front of my gift that God has given me.
Exactly.
Hmm. Yeah. And I think what both of those brothers said, that's just spot on, man. We gotta be able to share that. Now, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. The ability to do that means that you feel safe. And I want to any woman that's listening tonight, I want them to understand that you have a man that is able to show emotional vulnerability in front of you. You have received one of the greatest gifts on earth, which is the heart of a vulnerable man. If you ever dishonor that gift,
Get it
you can
back.
cancel Christmas.
You won't get
It'll
it
be
back.
it'll be difficult to get it back because he doesn't he in the world of men we can rarely like I don't sit at restaurants with my back to the door, and the only reason I will is if I'm sitting with another man that I know has the same mindset of me of looking for threats.
Okay. Come
Other
on,
than
brother.
that,
Come
one
on.
time I sat in a restaurant and I let my son, both of my sons I've done this with, where they got to watch the door, and I made sure I point out you're sitting in a position of honor. They like, why? They ain't get it. I said because you get to watch my back. If a
Mm-hmm.
threat comes
Come
through
on,
that
brother.
door, I have to depend on you. You're in a place of honor. So when a man cries and opens up or is able to be emotionally vulnerable with his woman, you are in a position of honor because we don't do that often because
Never
we
do.
can't afford to, right? So if you're able to do that, man, kudos to you. Your woman is a safe place for you right now. Just make sure you continue to nurture an environment that allows her to continue to be that safe place. And I would say
Yes.
to her, if she's listening to that, is that make sure you do your work so you can continue to be that safe place. Be slow to speak, quick to listen. That's another way of keeping that safe place where your man can feel that kind of safe.
Absolutely.
What else you
Thank y'all
got,
for
young buck, before we get up out of
that. I'm
here?
trying to think. I think a question you had texted me earlier in the day. Let me go to it so I can say it the right way.
uh
Um, what are some things that women get wrong about men?
oh, oh.
And maybe we could have some of the ladies type in, chime in, of things maybe
Yeah,
they've gotten wrong about me or us or whatever. But what are some
yeah,
things that women get wrong about men, misconception, things of that nature?
yeah. I'll jump in first, and ladies, we getting ready to wrap it up. So if y'all got any questions for the fellas, now's the time to drop them in there, and we'll answer them on air. I think that one of the biggest things that women get wrong about men is that we don't that we are emotionless, and it is not that we are emotionless. We process emotions differently because when men have there's a difference between having a conversation that has emotion in it and having an emotional conversation. When men have this, my saying, when men have emotional conversations, people die, whether that's physically or figuratively. Because when a man goes on an emotional rant, he kills stuff. I, I'm gonna give you Bible. Samson, after he got his heart broke the first time, what did he do? He went and killed 30 people.
Mm-hmm.
That's Bible.
Mm-hmm.
When men have emotional responses, emotional conversations, people die. So we process emotion different because if we process emotion, that's why you have, I'm going to tell you this. If you want to solve, oh man, I'm finna offend somebody and I don't care. If you want to solve the violence, the gun violence that we have in Tallahassee, stop letting women raise men.
Come
Now,
on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying the women doing that on their own. I'm not putting that at the women's feet at all. We got to figure out how to get these fathers and these dads back clued in. Why do I say that? Women process emotion different. So that young man grew up watching how a woman processes emotion. And now he
Popping
get
off
out there
straight
and
up.
somebody check him right in the street and he got to defend his respect. He processes emotion like what he has seen a woman, which means he pulls out his gun and he fires it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you learn to process emotions like men, you might think about pulling out that gun, but then you start thinking, you're like, you know what? Woo, 10, 20 life. You start thinking
Come
through
on.
it. You're like,
Right.
it ain't worth it. You just walk away and you stay out of them people's way so that you don't have to go to that point. If you want
Mm-hmm.
these young men to stop killing each other, I guarantee you, most of them that's killing each other, they saw a woman process emotion more than they saw a man process emotion. And if they saw a man process emotion that way, dig into who raised him, and you're gonna find out he came up
Mm-hmm.
learning how to process emotions like a woman. There's nothing wrong with the way women process emotions. There is just different. So that's my thing that I think women get wrong in that regard, brothers. I think they done went to sleep on us over out there. They just barely hanging on. They barely hanging on.
I
Yeah, no,
don't know if I
no
can. I don't know if I can mess with that one.
You don't know if you can mess with it.
Yeah, I don't talk to many women, bro.
question.
Okay, okay. Oh, what you think? Nick say he don't talk to men and women. What you think? What
About
women get
they don't.
wrong about men?
Oh, well, one thing I think that we don't care. That's just because you don't like you. It goes back to what you said. Just because you don't react to something, they take it as
Mm.
a sense of you don't care about what they said. No, I just process it differently than you.
Right, right,
So I think that's one thing that they think that you don't care about a situation, which I do.
right.
Yeah, that's definitely a
Yep.
thing I can speak on the processing of a situation that may happen, good or bad. Like I'm a processor, and Alexis, she likes to figure it out right now, right then and there, and I need to process it sometimes just for a little bit longer than she likes, and that causes
Yeah.
some issues at sometimes. But yeah, that's definitely something I can speak on.
Yeah. I will say that as a husband, young husband, I had a bad habit of going into the cave to process and never coming out. And it was my way sometimes of avoiding the conversation. It's my way of sometimes not wanting to get in the argument and for peace sake, right? It was in that frustrated my wife because I would then never bring it back up, right? So that's the case. My wife chimed in here and said women think they're not considered a lot when making decisions, and my wife has said that to me, and that's the thing. And I'm not giving men an excuse, but I want to say why sometimes it may feel that way. Men like to be decisive. We don't like going back and forth and yeah, we're gonna do this, then we're gonna do that, then we like to be decisive. We like, okay, that makes sense. Okay, let's do it. You sure? Yeah, you laid it out. It made sense. Let's
I
do it.
just said I
Well, I
was.
was thinking. I just said, let's do it. Why we got to keep going?
Yes.
And men do not like that. We don't do well with that. If I told you my yes, my yes, my no is my no, and if I said I'm not sure, and sometimes as men, we'll say we're not sure, even though we already sure. just so she thinks that we are processing it longer, but we already have our answers. You're like, babe, I thought about this some more, this. But that make her feel better. But I don't want
Yeah.
to drag it out
No,
like that. If I
no.
already have an answer, I want to just get an answer. Whatever.
Hmm.
That's it. So yeah, yeah. So listen, fellas, I thank y'all for joining me. This definitely won't be the last time. I want to definitely do this where we can all get in the same room at the same time. I got to call this guy tomorrow because I'm not hearing back because I need to get my dates confirmed because we are looking at doing a live recording of Late Night Marriage. Hopefully, end of this month, beginning of December. We're going to do it up at a place at Cascade Park and just looking forward to doing that. And maybe that might be a chance for us to chop it up live on set. That right there. But I appreciate y'all time. I appreciate your participation. Um, you know, Brandon, you got a whole bunch of free game, man. Ain't nobody gonna
Oh
send you
yeah,
no
I appreciate
invoice
that.
over here.
If
Nah,
I
man.
get
We
one,
enjoy.
I pay it.
Nah, you good, man. This was really, really good, man, and I appreciate you guys because here's the honest truth. Men a lot of time don't open up or have these type of conversations, as Nick said earlier, and women don't know that there are more men that are like this than are not. And so just being out there and being able to represent the brothers and talk of it, hey man, it's that thing. So just want to give everybody, and I'm gonna start with the elder statesman. I am so proud of you, Unc. You was able to figure out the technology, got on here, look at you. The pack
Come here,
mule, the
wow.
pack mule, yeah. Hey, I want to give everybody just a quick moment to drop a pardon nugget or thought before we get out of here. Unc, I'll start with you. I'll go last. We'll start with you, Nick. Jump. We'll basically go count it down. So I think Unc, you the oldest, Nick, you the second, I'm the third. Then we'll close out with the young buck, and we'll get out of here. So any nuggets, thoughts before we get out of here, Unc?
Um, well, leaving a nugget for Brandon, especially be quick to listen and slow to respond. Okay, and I think you kind of said that before, but I am so glad that you included me because although late nights with you and my daughter be doing, sometimes I want to chime in and I couldn't chime in, and I see my daughter on here. She got the quick fingers and all, and she always got her comments on Alexis, but I just, I just, I am so proud of, especially Nick, the insight and the. It's good to hear another. You're younger than I am. You might think you're older, but you're younger than I am. But you got so much wisdom, and Brandon, you got that desire to know. That tells me your heart is in the right place. And old young buck here, he know what I call him, old young man. It's some wisdom in that gray when he got hair. Hairstyle, cutting it all off, but some wisdom in there. And I do appreciate you gentlemen. I appreciate everything I heard, and you kind of inspire me. Let's notice, especially young men desiring to learn not just of marriage and about the word, because when you line up with the word, that marriage will go a little easier.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, 100%. I do want to say this before I pass the mic to Nick. Is Unc is and I are working on something. We didn't get to do the men's retreat. We're gonna do that in the new year. That was on me. I take that penalty. But Unc has a pressing desire, and I agree with him to talk, get the men together before the end of the year and talk about mental health, talk about some of the same things we kind of talked about tonight, but really just checking on us and making sure we good as men. So be on the lookout for that. We'll be putting something out as soon as we lock things down. Nick, your nugget, your
Well,
closing thoughts.
yeah, what I want to reiterate is, like I said earlier, um, don't let your pride get in the way, brother. That's gonna hurt you if you do. If you really love that woman and you really want your marriage to last and grow and prosper, If you have a question or if you have something that you're not sure of, get with some of these other men that have been there, been down the road that you're traveling, and know how to get through it. And you ask them, you sit down and talk to them, and get some advice. Don't be like me, because that was bad. It ended bad. So get with these other men, these experienced men, and you get the answers that you need, so you don't make critical mistakes. And communicate with that woman and listen to her. Listen to her. Even if you don't agree with her, still listen to her. And then y'all come to some kind of mutual agreement. You know what I'm saying? But don't be like me and just say, "Oh, I'm the man. It's my way or the highway." No, don't do that, brother, because she got feelings too. All
Amen.
right,
Yeah.
that's it for me.
All right. I'm gonna say this, um, and this for you, Brandon, but this for any young man, any man, not young or old, that is interested in marriage. And I actually am gonna do a short on this, and it came to me earlier. If you're investing more money and time in your wedding than you do your marriage, you're doing it wrong. Like if you're investing more time and money in your wedding than you are your marriage, you're doing it wrong. Like it is so much. The wedding is just a blip, right? I would even advise couples like, hey, if you could spend 10, let's just say you're gonna spend 10 grand on a wedding, man, spend 2 grand on the wedding, take eight, take another six and invest that in something, and then take the rest of it and go do a nice honeymoon. Forget feeding all them people your Doritos and Kool Aid, and spend some of that money on your pre marriage education, all that kind of stuff like that. In planning things for your marriage, within a year after getting married, you should be going to do something like weekend to remember XO. Hopefully by that time, we will have our retreat up and running. Whatever that is, do within a year getting married, do those things and find you a even whether you're getting married or not, every man needs a tight knit group of men around them who are going to tell them the truth. Men typically don't spend time telling each other lies, unless we talking about fishing and the number of women we got. We usually don't spend a lot of time, but I'm talking about men who honor marriage, have the right view about marriage, honor women, have the right view about women, honor being fathers, and have the right view about being fathers. Having those guys building that network will prove invaluable. I had a young man reach out to me recently, just out of the blue. We hadn't talked in forever. He said, "Man, I want to just thank you for all them conversations. All those conversations paid off, and they really, they helped my marriage. They saved my marriage." And I was like, anything in particular? Like, nah, man, just having a listening ear with wisdom helped with my marriage, and that's important. So, your parting thought, young buck. You the last one to take the floor. What's your parting thought, Nugget?
Nah, I just want to thank all y'all, Unc and Nick and you, Damon, for dropping those nuggets, dropping that knowledge, answering some of the questions that I had. And I'll just say, moving forward, things that I'll take from the conversation this evening, and things I've been working on myself, just anyway, just not being afraid to be emotional, and definitely like communicating. Communication is key in relationships, and being able to talk about not just the good things, but the hard things too. And just being able to be transparent and open and honest about everything that you may have going on in your life or in the situation. So, yeah, definitely the knowledge that y'all dropped, the key components of being a man and being a great husband, and then all the other great nuggets that y'all dropped this evening. I appreciate it, and I thank y'all, and it's been wonderful this evening. Learned a lot, and looking forward to learning more as we move forward.
All right. Hey, well, man, we thank y'all. We thank y'all for tuning in with us, ladies. Stay off them BBLs and them eyelashes and them wigs and all of that. And Cheesecake Factory is okay. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
all
Go
right.
find your nearest Cheesecake Factory today. Thank you for joining another episode of Late Night Marriage with the Riches. This has been the Brothers Edition. And ladies, y'all got next. Y'all got next. So we're going to tune in with the ladies. We'll see y'all next time. God bless. Till next time.
All right.